It's time for culture now, and while military and political developments in the Middle East have clearly been dominating the headlines, we've also been hearing about people regarding their own experiences. And for more on how artists are coming to terms with this war, I'm joined by Olivia Salazar-Winspear from our culture desk. Hi, Olivia.
Hi.
You've been speaking to two Lebanese artists, one of them actually in Beirut, filmmaker Wissam Charaf.
Yes, that's right. Wissam Charaf is an independent filmmaker whose stories are so rooted in the socio-political reality in Lebanon and the Lebanese people that I wasn't surprised to learn that he'd stayed in Beirut with his family. His most recent film was called Dirty, Difficult, Dangerous. That was a fantastical love story between a Syrian refugee and an Ethiopian migrant worker set in modern-day Beirut as a city ravaged by that port explosion in 2020 with the various political and economic crises that the people had gone through. So he makes films that are on the one hand, cinematographic, but also very realist. He joined us by video link from Beirut to talk about the reality there at the moment. He said many of the streets are eerily quiet. And then we talked about how artists are coming to terms with this very difficult time. Here's more from him.
As artists, actually, we don't have time to process a crisis. And we have to intake another one. So it's too fast for us. Today, it's very, very hard to concentrate, and to be able to think about anything. It has been going on since 2019, since 5 years. And this maybe explains also why many artists of the Lebanese scene have left the country, because it has been very hard, to create art or to be able to even think or concentrate about an artistic view. We are like glued in the daily bad energy that's piling up on Lebanon since 2019.
As Wissam says there, many artists have not been able to stay in Lebanon. He himself will be shooting his next film for the first time outside of the country, and those artistic exiles will, of course, necessarily have an impact on what's being made, what we see and hear coming from Lebanese artists when they finally do get back into creative work.
Now, while people in Lebanon are clearly focused on their day-to-day safety, those living in the diaspora are dealing with it from afar. And what have you heard from them?
Yeah, well, I was speaking to Zeid Hamdan. This is a musician and producer who came to be known as the godfather of Arab indie electro in the early 2000s. He had a really successful career that went on for 20 years, but then he had to leave the country after that port explosion in 2020. His home was destroyed. He could not support his family anymore. He's now based in Paris, so he was telling me about the daily struggle of just getting news from family members back in Lebanon, as well as this feeling of déjà vu that a lot of Lebanese people are dealing with, given the crises of recent years, and going all the way back to the civil war for some of them. Now, when I asked him about his hopes for the future of Lebanon, he was categorical. He says that the Lebanese people need to be unified. Here's more from him.
I've been hearing a lot disputes and fractures within the Lebanese society. I hope that the Lebanese can be united, stop saying it's the other's fault and the other's fault. We need to be really at that moment really together and support each other, whatever the community. And this is what has been able to beat us, is that we never behave as one people. We always play the games of the politicians. We must help each other, especially now, and then later we must reflect on why we are being divided.
So Zeid's actually involved in a fundraising event at the New Morning Jazz Club this coming Sunday for the people of Iran, in fact. But he's also organising a solidarity event for Lebanon and the hundreds of thousands of people displaced there on March 25th in Paris. Location TBC. We'll keep you informed about how and when that's going to take place.